I would say 99% were positive.
And then you drop the tickets, and the tickets go on sale.
That was tough.
I feel like that day was really exciting for all of us, even with the negative comments, just because everything we had been working up to was like here, like we could taste it. We're releasing this and we've got maybe a month or so to go until the actual event, and we're like, oh, here it comes. I can't believe this is happening. We've been canceled because of COVID. We haven't done anything for a year. We need this. And eventually we were just working nonstop at that point. I feel like we were here every day for hours and hours on end while putting on events down at Freight House behind High Third. We were doing the Dak Jam lights all in the middle of it while the rest of the team, like Paula, was working on restaurants stuff. And I mean, there was so much happening at once, and I feel like we all kind of thrive in that environment, even when we're like stressed and just want to sleep. I feel like we all just thrived off that energy and did some of our best work in those moments. And it was really a great learning curve for all of us. I feel like just learning how everyone really works, how much we can actually do here in-house and what we're capable of doing, which was really great. We just expanded our knowledge and our talents on so many different fronts. So that was really cool to see.
I mean, everyone was really excited. I think half of them were like in shock that we actually had that lineup, I guess, because everyone was like, oh my God, this is better than like all this, and like, oh my God, yeah. So I think people were, in shock and excited. I think it was welcomed pretty well. I think people overreacted. So there was some negative comments on pricing, but honestly, anything you put a price on, someone will think negative. You put it too low, someone will think it's cheap. You put it too high, it's too high for them, even though they probably spend their money on other things that are the same recreational things, you know? That was kind of hard to not respond with like, this is why this is this expensive, and kind of like in bigger cities, this is the price. Like, I don't care what examples you have of some small rinky-dink festival, but like this lineup is nothing compared to that sort of thing. So it was just, even I'm like used to like negative comments because of my previous jobs. Even that for me was kind of hard to just not explain that part of the pricing.
That was tough, you know, because you're doing something so good and you're so excited about it, and then you have these people that are just bashing you. And at the time, I mean, you take it personal. I had probably 2 straight months of taking stuff personal from the public. And that part was one, because it just didn't make any sense, I guess, to me, because the value was there. The brand was there. I just don't know if people wanted to believe it was there. And I don't know these humans personally, but, you know, I think sometimes people forget that there's other humans on the other side trying to make all this happen. You know? Like, we built a lot in 30 days, and no one knows that. So it was learning curves, and you know, you got to pay a lot of people. You got to pay a lot of fees. Like, we're working with professional organizations and not just throwing up a festival and using some random online ticketing agency. Like, we're literally using what other festivals use for ticketing. We wanted to show people that it was a reputable brand, I guess, essentially. And I wasn't expecting the firestorm at all.
You know what? It was, to tell you the truth, it was remarkably calm. I've been in a lot of those logistical meetings where a lot of panic happens because there's so many things that happen on the fly that can derail different things that the public won't see. Of course, the show must go on, but there's a lot of logistics that require to go on. And it was crazy because we were very well organized, very well structured. I mean, there was weekly meetings, there was constant meetings, there was just spur up meetings. And sometimes you feel like, in some cases, you know, there's too many meetings, or meetings that we like to joke about could be an email and those type of things. But when you're putting on an event of this large, you got to have all your ducks in a row, and you'd rather, you know, have a meeting where half of it sometimes feels repetitive, but as long as you understand, you know, what are the fires you have to put out and those type of things, you have to take care of it, because otherwise, if you forget about it, I think that the big thing is having, you know, a lot of extra eyes on it, because usually in a lot of big concerts, you know, you have different people that are responsible for different areas, where this one felt like more of a collaborative area. Like, I wasn't tied to the marketing side of it, but certainly if anybody asked me a question like, hey, do you guys going to make sure you do this, or do you need this, or do you guys need to have this, or is that, you know, those type of areas needed to be covered. And it felt like somebody was going to find out or figure out the answer to go with it. But it was enjoyable. Like I said, it was very collaborative. You know, I think that's the culture, you know, of just being like, hey, like, everybody wants, you want to turn in a music festival. Everybody had jobs, but you don't want to be feeling like it was a job. It felt like it was more of, you know, something cool to do and show up to have fun. And, you know, certainly don't try to be negative as much. Again, try to keep things positive. And that was a nice thing because, you know, we knew what the end goal was. And so I think that's what kind of drove the bus for a lot of that stuff. But no, it was, like I said, it was a different atmosphere. I feel like, you know, working in the shop here, it feels kind of like almost like that Google type of mentality where you don't just have cubicles. I mean, it's like different places for different people to go and stuff. And, you know, it's kind of one of the older guys and hanging out with a lot of the younger, you know, crowd, but it was great to work with. And it was nice being able to work together on the Dak Jam lights, because then it's kind of allowed to kind of see where everybody was with their mentality and how they operated, and everybody had different areas, but to come together and having a really big, especially at the end with Hairball, another big concert, those are things that were really exciting. But yeah, great group. It was awesome. You know, kind of see, and you can just see, you know, just how everybody was so positive until, of course, the news of it being shut down.